Guys, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, especially if you love MMA as much as I do. I just got through talking about Adesanya and DDP fighting soon. That's probably his next fight. I want to talk about Ilia Tuporia fighting Alexander Volkanovski. That should be the next fight for Volk. When he's healthy, of course. I understand he has to get surgery on his arm or his hand or whatever it was that he said. But, yeah, he could beat Volkanovski. I like the way he fights. He's real driven. He's always going forward. And he can do it for 5 rounds. He proved that against Josh Emmett. I know he didn't finish it, but 50-42. My goodness, that doesn't happen very often in fights in the UFC. That never happens, really. Very one-sided fight that was. His boxing's really good. His striking overall is really good. He can wrestle and take you down. The only concerns I have for him is when you're fighting a guy like Volk, he's stationary. He doesn't just stand in front of you. He's moving around a lot, and he's finding loopholes in you at the same time and picking you apart, and he confuses people. He did it with Max Holloway, and he did it with the Korean Zombie a lot. And he just did that in his last fight with Yair Rodriguez. He was able to pick him apart and make it very difficult for Yair to really do any damage to him like that. So it's hard to see. I mean, the only way that will work is if he corners Volk to the cage and already has him hurt, and he follows it up and stays on him and just picks his shots, takes Volk down, and knowing that Volk's already hurt and stunned a little bit, he's not thinking about getting up. He's just trying to recover. That's the only way I see him actually beating Volk with a finish. I don't know if he'll outland Volk and be able to figure out his pattern for 5 rounds and just be okay with that, you know. I don't see him knocking out Volk with one punch. I mean, Islam Makhachev, and I know on Fight Night they were the same size according on paper to the weight, but Islam clearly a bigger and taller guy. I believe he's more powerful than Volkanovski as far as landing haymaker shots. He took those shots pretty well. He was actually getting the better of it, so it's tough to tell. Because, again, Volk's a patient guy. He's very tough, and he also doesn't get tired. You know, that cardio was the difference in his fight with Brian Ortega, with his ability to recover and go 5 rounds and make it look almost easy. And his constant paces on Holloway and Korean Zombie and Aldo among everybody else, so he can, but I'll have to make the prediction video when the fight is official. But I don't know. That's a very difficult fight. But if anybody could beat him right now at featherweight, it's Ilia. Ilia is an elite fighter. He really is really good. That fight's not going to be a one-sided fight. That's going to be very competitive and close to the end.